Hello everyone, early May update on the bill down here in County Laois. Haven't been on for a while there, so should be some extra bits and pieces done. If you're following along, give us a like and a subscribe, and share with anyone who's building their own house. It's a complete self-build. So let's have a look. Last video we had marked out a yellow line here for the digger to clean up the edge of the road. We can get around to that. So that goes on the back burner now until the digger is back in a few weeks. We did have the horn beam in the last video, and all bar 1 or 2 out of 100 have really taken well. So kudos to the lads down in Coolabacca Nursery. They were tiny 4 weeks ago, and we've had great weather here for the last week, and everything is just shooting up. So I'm surprised how quick these are taking it up and even gaining some height. So the plan was to cut that virgin as far as the yellow line. Was going to put some timber along it then and put some mulch in over where the trees are, just to define them and give them a better chance of starting. But we've had a couple of big lorries in the last few days, and you can see here where they're cutting the corner. In fairness to them, they didn't even knock down this tree. Some very good lorry drivers getting in a tight gate. It's not the gate that's tight, it's just the other side of the road. There's just nothing to play with there. It's a 14-foot gate, which is big enough for any lorry. Yeah, so those trees are doing well. So where the lorries are turning in is really helping me define now where to kind of edge off the bit of gardening here at the front of the site, because we're starting on the main house in the next couple of years, and we want to be able to make sure the same lorries can get through. So letting nature take its course. I'm actually happy with the shape the lorry wheels have created on that. It's very tidy. It doesn't hit the water main, doesn't hit the trees. All good. So I've had a fantastic digger driver in, and we got loads done. Very happy with that. Had a go on digger myself. We had a 5-ton digger, lovely machine, and we had a dumper in as well. You might see those in the short videos. Let's get this side of the site out of the way first. That won't be touched, as I said, till next year, so I'm not even going to go there. I'll try not look there, it depresses me. Yeah, so first thing we've done is, this is all the clay from the footings, and there's a huge trench dug out here before Christmas just to see what way the water was flowing, so that fills that up nicely. Obviously we'll level all that. We don't have much else done on the golf area here, to be honest, but there's about 6 loads of a 3-ton dumper there. We'll flatten that out and get a nice edge before we put the topsoil on. All the heavy lorries in the last few days, and the diggers has really compacted the concrete here, so I'm tempted to cover this in 804 just to have a much nicer driving in experience. It's pretty bumpy and it's not great underfoot on areas that haven't got compressed. You can see where the digger was driving over here, and the dumper, a wee bit of a mess there, and it's a bit tricky to walk on. Right, the rest of the site then, we've pretty much used up most of the gravel. This gravel was the wash gravel for the French drains. I have enough there to do one more French drain at a spot I saw there was loads of water pre-Christmas and after Christmas, so that's where that's going. This little bit of 804 that's left here, this is to go around the foundation that we'll see in a second for the studio, and that'll just make that whole area safer, and the area where I'm going to be using the mixer. That's my rubbish area over there. Clean that out once a week. This pile of sand has been here for a while, untouched, but we'll be digging into that in the next few weeks. So that is the ballast for the floor in the shed, steel shed. It's on its way as soon as I can get some pictures of the foundation in for them. And there's fine sand there, sharp sand for the blocks on that side. I'll keep that covered, as I said in the last video. Running up along the right, so we filled in the water main pipe, nicely filled in all the way up. I put a T-junction on halfway up, level with the main house, and that'll go off to the main house next year. have a lovely long hose then from the rest of it, which I can reach to all areas of the piece we're building at the moment. I always turn the mains off, just in case. I'll leave it on permanently when we move in. Did notice a bit of a leak in one of the joiners here. I'm going to replace that with a T-joiner. This one was temporary anyway, but it had a bit of a false seal on it, so that does leak when the main is turned on. Very little, but we don't want that. So there'll be a T-junction going off that up to the Gulf area, and that'll have its own water system. Hopefully we might put rainwater into that system as well. Moving back along, so I've moved the IBC. That's over to the area here where we're going to be using the mixer. So we had half a cubic metre left over of concrete. We dug out a little hole, pour that in, level it, and keep the IBC there until we're finished. Both houses have a pallet here to the left with concrete bags inside to keep them protected from the rain, even though the bags are quite waterproof. And like the last video, we still have all the rebar here for the flooring. Yes, that's a better location for the water tank. That fills up pretty fast. The mains flow is pretty good. That filled up in half an hour, up to 3/4 there, which is pretty good. Running back here then, we had the delivery of 804 yesterday. This is for shed base over here. My little fella marked that out with me last weekend. We had a great time doing that, learning about Pythagoras and stuff. So we've had great dry weather, haven't had to remark that, and I've turned the shed around 90 degrees. We're going to go the opposite way, but turning it this way makes it less visible from the road, plus I can get solar panels onto it. So this ground is really dried out, mainly due to the French drain. So we ran a French drain, you can see it in the last video, from the corner of the build, and it comes under that 804. It's about 2 feet down there. This is the biggest drain we have in the place. This is draining water away from the low point in the house. That runs all the way down to our ditch. That ditch goes off into the council mains. So you can see the pipe coming out there, and wrapped with membrane. That's what we need for French drains. You can see the gravel there as well. So we've about 6 inches of gravel underneath and above it, and to the side of it, and maybe a little bit more than that. All the timbers and the steel for the shed foundations are already here a few weeks. Some nails sticking up there, we'll just fix that. Just never know who's in around. So we have about 70 metres of pipe left as well. That's going to run a drain down from the back of that foundation all the way down to the drain here, and the rest of it then is going to drain the golf area. So I don't think we had this in the last video. The foundations are in, so they're marked out for the blocks and all. We have our centre lines. We measured our corners, they're square. The concrete flowed in pretty easily. You can see the shuttering buckled a bit on the outsides there, but pretty happy with that. Small issue we had was I forgot my laser the day the concrete was coming, so we had to kind of go by the steel pegs that I put in. See, can we find one here? Yeah, so we just poured up to the top of these rebars, and the difference is not too bad. There's about a 1 inch difference from that corner down to this corner here, so we'll make up for that with probably cut a little bits off the aerated blocks. If you do end up with a foundation that's a little bit lower in one corner, start laying your blocks from the low corner, and can remove a little bits off the other blocks. You need the top of the first course level, and it's much safer probably to just be taking an inch off a block than shimming up blocks as you go along. They'll get crushed with the weight of the house. So we just had the laser level out there just to check all the levels again, and we have our line for our blocks here. Don't be afraid to put little spray marks in those, because the rabbits come in and eat line and you have to start again. So we put in some 804 then just in the middle of the footing, and around the edges going to put more 804 up around here just for comfort really, and down to the concrete mixing area. So for the footing here we've approximately 200 or odd normal blocks. These are 4-inch blocks from Booth. They're a nice block, they're heavy, they're always very square in fairness to them. And then for 2 courses on the internal rising wall, we've got the Mannock blocks. These are the aerated blocks, much the same strength as a normal block. 2/3 the weight, easier to cut. You can cut them with a saw. Very brittle, so you just got to be careful with them. I'll possibly be using those as a first layer as well, because of the unevenness on the foundation footing. So lesson learnt there as we go. I do like aerated blocks. I don't like the price of them. They're over 3 times the price of a normal block. They're just so easy to work with. If you could use them all the way, it would be fantastic. So in my shorts there yesterday, you'll see the trucks that came in and delivered the 804 and the blocks. So very grateful for the skill of the drivers getting through the gate. Just incredible people really. And laying off the blocks onto the corners where obviously makes more sense. I've got these sticks as well for putting up along these are solid ash sticks, won't warp so much. They're just for a check that each course is perfectly level, and I'll do that with the laser as well. That DeWalt laser is incredibly accurate, down to a millimetre really, over the distances we're talking about here. So I have 3 loads of crushed concrete ordered to fill this corner here, and it's going to fill down around the back of the shed, and then we'll get in a few loads of 804, and when the digger is over, maybe early summer, midsummer, we'll cover that. We'll get that top side out of there and we'll use that up in the golf area, and we're going to just roll in crushed concrete, because we've very heavy clay soil here. We need that to allow for the moisture, and we'll then cover that with 804, and I'll hire out a big roller for the day, and we'll roll all the way down to the gate. So it'll just be a comfortable site to come in and work on then. The ESB have not come back to fix the earthware that we dug out. Been on to them a few times. It's obviously not a priority. If I walk down here, we'll probably see it. And not that earthware there, there's actually a heavy earthware coming from the telephone pole, but not too visible. Maybe they've been, I've got to talk to them. Not seeing anything there. We'll look into that one. So that's pretty much it. No rush on the build. Today I'm going to set out the corners for the blocks. We're doing double leaf 150mm cavity, and then in the next 2 weeks going to build up 3 or 4 blocks left and right of each corner, building up the rising wall. It's quite high here on the site at this particular point, highest point of the site. So and with all the drainage we've done around, I'm only going to come up 2 courses. You'd normally be coming up 3, but I'm going to come up 2 courses to our ground level, and obviously put in the radon sump and barriers and that stuff, and then backfill in around the first course when I have the concrete infill in between the blocks. So it's not a huge build, similar in size to that garage beside us there really, but onwards and upwards. The weather has been great lately, has really helped. So hopefully when you come back next month, we'll have all the shed base here leveled, 804'd, and the foundation poured. and I should have all the rising wall done at that stage, and then we'll get on to the floor. Okay, thank you. Please like and subscribe and share if you have people interested in this content. Thank you.